everyone, it's Sierra Proctor, and thank you so much for tuning in to watch the second video in this series, where today we are going to discuss how to create your business plan and where to find funding for your business. Now, I hope you all are enjoying this series so far, and make sure that you have your post notifications on and you're ready for the next video that's going to drop in this series. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the content.
So let's move on to step number 2, which is all about planning. Planning is very important, okay? And I know a lot of people, they just start a business without a business plan. But, I mean, it can work for some people. But for most people, it does not work. Especially if you have a very complex business model or business idea. Or if you need investors and you need someone who's going to be on the same page as you, they want to see that you have taken the time to plan this out, that you have every single question answered. You've thought about this. This is not just, okay, well, we're going to do this and I need some money, right? They want to see that you have a marketing plan, a sales plan. All of those things are very important. So let's actually define the business plan, and then we're going to talk about the important sections that are in your business plan. A business plan is a document that is used to outline a company's objectives and strategies to achieve those objectives. So I'm sure just by that definition, you can understand why a business plan is extremely important, right? So obviously we will have our objectives of what our business plans to do, and then we will have strategies on how we will achieve those things. Now, that's very important if you are going to go and present this information to a potential investor or some loan officer who is going to be analyzing your business plan, right? That is important to see that you have a plan to achieve these goals, not just saying, okay, these are the goals and this is what we're going to do. Because a goal without a plan typically is not fulfilled, okay? So let's move on to some of the important sections that a business plan will have. So I'm going to go over the important sections that I have in my business plan. And there are some really good sites out there that have templates, because depending on your industry, you may have other sections that you need, or you may take some of these sections out. But in general, these are the sections that you will have. So first, you'll have the company overview. Then you'll have a product service description. Then you'll have the market analysis, your operating plan, your marketing plan, your sales plan, and your financial plan. So now let's talk about all of these sections at an extremely high level. I'm going to do another video in the future that talks about all of these sections way more in depth, and how you can actually put the business plan together quickly and effectively. So let's talk about the company overview. The company overview is just that, a company overview. Okay, don't think too much about this part. You want to give the reader a snapshot of exactly what your company does. Who's your company? How was it founded? Who was it founded by? When was it founded by? What do you do? And what do you offer? That's it. Don't think too much about this part, right? And I find that it's easy to do this part at the end once you've actually outlined every single other thing about your business in the business plan. So then after you do that, you'll move on to the product and service description. Now, this part should be easy if you know your product. You want to write down all of your products, who it's for, what it does, and why it's beneficial. Same thing with the services. You want to write down every single thing that you are offering, right? Don't leave anything out, because anything that's left out does not get factored in to you or your investors' understanding of your business, okay? So make sure that you keep up with this, and this can be altered at any time. So if you add something new or you take something away, you can take that out of your business plan at any point. This is not set in stone. Your business plan is fluid, and it should always be changing as your company is growing and expanding. So then you're going to do your market analysis. Now, when we talk about market analysis, we've already done that, right? So all that research you did about the market with your primary research and your secondary research, that's going to be the information that informs this section. Also, in this section, you might want to do a SWOT analysis. SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And that's going to pretty much outline all of those things for your company. Not the market, but your actual company. Okay? Then you're going to talk about your operating plan. Your operating plan just lays out the hierarchy of all of the individuals who work for your company, who are investing in your company, as well as any vendors that are quintessential to your company's business, right? So if you only have one vendor that's able to fulfill your orders, or you only have one vendor that's able to create your product, right? That's definitely something that you want to mention, because what happens if that person disappears, okay? What happens if that vendor goes out of business? Now you need to have a backup plan. Those all need to be things that are mentioned in the operating plan. Now with the marketing plan, this is something that you can outsource a little bit. You might not be an expert at marketing. So with marketing, you can hire a team who is pretty much only focused on marketing. You can hire them to create a marketing plan for your company that fits your objectives. So they will help you create a SEO plan, Google Ads, social media, as well as traditional marketing. You might have an infomercial. You might have something on your website. You might have a mailing list. Like all of that stuff, they can take care of that for you, and then you'll just put that into your business plan as you see fit. Now, sales plan. Now we're going to talk about how you create customers from those leads that you're generating from the marketing, right? So you're going to talk about the different venues where you will sell your product or your services. Is it only online? Is it in traditional retail stores? I don't know. That's up to you to plan, right? So that's something that you're going to say there. You also want to talk about pricing. If you have a pricing model idea, you might want to add that in. And I'll talk about pricing models in another video. But those are all things that you want to put in your sales plan. You also want to talk about your sales team in this part of the business plan. And finally, the financial plan. The financial plan is, dare I say, the most important part of your business, right? The financial plan is going to dictate whether or not your business is feasible or not. So you're going to talk about two main things: your costs and your earnings. Costs and earnings. If your costs outweigh your earnings for the duration of your business plan and your business model, it's probably not a good business, right? But in the beginning, we all know that your costs are going to outweigh your earnings. But your goal should be to flip this, and that should be reflected in the financial plan. So essentially what you want your financial plan to do is convince both yourself and your investors that your business is profitable. And make sure that you take the time to seriously research what your startup costs are. Because a lot of times starting a business is extremely expensive, and there's a lot of small nuances that you do not take into account, such as licenses, LLC formation, any legal costs. All of those things need to be put into the financial plan. Let's go ahead and jump into step number 3 and discuss how to fund your business. Funding your business is extremely important to the startup process. And if you've been following my video series until now and you've been doing the steps in order, then you probably already completed your financial plan. And this was done during the business planning stage. And it will assist you in determining your startup costs, and it will assist you in determining which one of the funding sources is best for you and your business. So let's go ahead and cover all of the funding sources that I'll discuss today. The first is bootstrapping, and then we'll discuss credit cards, bank loans, crowdfunding, angel investors, and venture capitalists. So bootstrapping, which is my favorite, and it is the way that I started my first business. it is essentially self-funding, and it's my favorite option for businesses that have small startup costs because it takes away the need to give away equity in your company, and it also eliminates the need for you to pay back loans with interest, because interest can be extremely costly, especially for startups. So then let's move on to credit cards. Credit cards can be a great tool. However, they can go bad quickly. So with credit cards, you have the autonomy to make purchasing decisions without explaining to anyone why you're making those decisions. And oftentimes you can get a pretty decent limit on the card. And in another video, I'll explain how you can utilize credit cards in your business to get the most out of them. But I need you to be aware that although credit cards seem like a no-brainer because they offer you a 0% introductory rate for like the first 12, 16, 18 months, that period is going to end and you're going to need to pay back the money. So who knows when your business will be profitable, and in that time period you're going to be getting interest charges on that money that you've charged onto the credit card, right? So those interest charges can be extremely costly, and you want to avoid that whenever possible. So now let's go ahead and talk about bank loans. Bank loans are a good option if you need more money than you have in your own savings or that you're comfortable putting up. However, they are more difficult to obtain and they're time consuming to actually go through the process of applying for a loan through a bank. You'll need to provide a credible financial plan, and if you've been following this series, I'm sure you've done that already. And you'll need to have proof of your ability to repay debts. So sometimes they may even ask you to put up something that you own as collateral, like your house. This is just to increase their confidence that you will repay your debt to them. Now, let's go ahead and discuss crowdfunding. Crowdfunding has become something that's a little more popular lately for individuals who are starting product-based companies, especially with products that are new and have not been seen yet in any marketplace. So there's a lot of sites online that are hosting crowdfunding opportunities, and essentially you can just Google it and they will assist you in getting the capital you need to actually produce the product. So simply put, it's a great way to pre-sell your product and get the capital needed to produce these items without fronting the money, getting the product back, and then taking it to market. So it's also great feedback for you as well. So now with angel investors are usually individuals who have a lot of money and business expertise, who usually will finance part of or all of your business in exchange for some of the company's equity. So when you think about this, think about the investors that you see on Shark Tank. You go in and you give your pitch, they give you money in exchange for some equity in your company, and they also assist you in making the company profitable and successful. So along the same lines, we have venture capitalists. They're similar to angel investors. However, they provide funding in exchange for some equity in the company and control over the operation of the business, but it's in a different way structurally, because venture capital is typically provided by a firm or group of individuals that have money to invest. So these are just a few options that I wanted to share with you all. These ones are pretty common, but depending on the industry that you're in, you may have additional options for funding your business. So I just encourage you to go out and do as much research as possible and try to do some research on your competition. And if you can, find people that have done what you're trying to do, reach out to them and ask them, get close to them and ask them how they funded their business and try to mimic that if it's been successful. Don't go crazy out here trying to reinvent the wheel because someone else has already done it.
Thank y'all so much for watching until the end of this video. Truly appreciate all of your support. thus far, make sure that if you haven't already done so, you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you have your post notifications on so that every time we drop a new video, you're ready for it. Also, make sure that you head over to sierraproctor.com and put yourself on the mailing list. Also, reach out to me with any emails, any questions that you have. And until next time, bye.